welcome to Build a Wall of Books. My name is Carrie, or welcome back if you have survived the chaos of my brain and ramblings before. I have lost my microphone. I am hoping that the sound is going to work, but I am making a video about one of my favourite genres, and in 2025 I'm committed to diving into more of what I love, which are Gothic books. What do I love about Gothic books? They are brooding, they are full of foreshadowing, they are creepy and beautifully weird, and they have so much depth to them. So let's dive in. So in 2025, I am going to be diving into, or diving back in some cases, to a mixture of modern and classic Gothic books. We're going to have some full-on Victorian madness, some classics, and maybe a little bit of folk horror creeping in around the edges. So I am going to be sharing my overthought and probably somewhat unhinged reactions over here and also on TikTok, if I remember to actually create a video at all. I have a spicy brain, so my focus is probably going to be on some weird symbolism that nobody else has even thought about, some rant about a particular character, or overwhelming joy about a particular character. Probably lots of what is the point? Was that the point? Am I imagining it? So let's get into the books. I am not sure how I'm going to get on with this book because I've heard that it is particularly gory, but it is Victorian Psycho by Virginia Feito, and the cover is immaculate. This is a play on the traditional governess trope, which is a recurring trope that we see time and time again in Gothic fiction. It's set in England in the 1800s, and Winifred Notty, let's just take a moment to appreciate how amazing that name is. Winifred Notty arrives at Ensor House with ambitions to be the perfect Victorian governess. But from what I've heard, things do not go to plan, and Winifred, let's just say that Winifred has quite the passion for blood, gore. I am excited to read this, and I've also heard that it's actually packed with humour. How those two go together, I don't know, but I will let you know how I get on. Next up, we have Carrion by Heather Parry, and look at the cover. This is probably the most perfect book on the list for me. We meet Marguerite Perigord, who has been locked in the attic of her family home. Her home is a towering Chelsea house overlooking the stinking Thames. Her company is her sewing machine, a copy of Mrs. Beeton's book of household management, and a carrion crow who has roosted in the rafters. I am excited to see what's actually going to happen to Marguerite, because let's be honest, I don't feel that her living conditions are going to benefit her mental health. We also meet Cecile Perigord, who is Marguerite's mother, and you would be surprised to know that she's the one who's put Marguerite in the attic. She is unhappy with Marguerite's life choices. Marguerite is engaged to a penniless solicitor, and Cecile doesn't want that family name dragged through the mud. Not only do we have Marguerite in the attic, we have her mother who's put her there, and I don't think it's going to do great things for the relationship. I am incredibly excited to read this book. For the next one, we are delving, I would say, slightly into our folk horror era, and it is Shirley Jackson's The Lottery. This is a deceptively simple horror, but when it hits hard. Shirley Jackson is an absolute menace, and I adore her writing. I have purchased for myself a rather swanky new copy of this book, and I am both excited and terrified to revisit this book. Genuinely, the first time that I read this book, I did not know what all the fuss was about, and I thought it was going to be a story about winning the lottery, winning a country fair, winning a baking competition, and I was very, very wrong. We are delving into some YA. Last year I read Young Gothic by M.A.Bennett. It takes us to the Villa Diodati, which, if you don't know, is in Switzerland, and it was once rented out by Byron, and some rather famous classic Gothic horror books found their way onto paper at the villa. Hint, hint, Frankenstein, The Vampire. This was a really, really good read. It follows a group of young creatives who win a competition to visit Villa Diodati for a writing retreat, a creative retreat. All is not what it seems. Are they losing their minds? Are things really happening? Are they hallucinating? You need to read it to find out. But it ends on quite a cliffhanger. Not long out is the follow-up, which is Children of the Night by M.A.Bennett as well. This time, 4 friends are journeying to Transylvania, and any ideas who we may come across in Transylvania? No, nor me either. Back to adult, My Darling Dreadful Thing by Johanna van Veen. This is all about seances, and I am a sucker for a seance. Also, can we just take a moment to talk about this title? It does sound like the kind of thing that a Victorian ghost would whisper in your ear just before utterly ruining your life. And maybe that's what's going to happen in this book. We don't know. Either way, I am absolutely ready for the dreadful and hopefully the darling parts of this book. I know that some of my mutuals, Elle, had read this and absolutely loved it and thought that I would like it too. So I'm going to tag them here. I will probably overanalyze this one to absolute death and probably won't sleep. The cover is already giving me nightmares. The next one, we are definitely in folk horror territory, and it is The Lamb by Lucy Rose. Gothic horror and folk horror are definitely very well acquainted cousins, and they both fear damp and dark forests. You know, those kind of books where you know that the trees are currently judging your life decisions and how badly you've messed up. One, the dedication has got me. For my cat and my other best friend. As opening lines go, this is pretty out there. Tell me you're not instantly hooked. On my 4th birthday, I plucked 6 severed fingers from the shower drain. Let's go back. On my 4th birthday, and 6 severed fingers from the shower drain. I've heard great things about this book. Am I scared to read it? Absolutely. I am not great with gore, and I'm also very scared in general. I overthink everything, so this one as well may keep me up at night. I'm going to try and keep on top of this one and come back to you with reading vlogs about how I'm getting on with my Gothic reading challenge, if we want to call it that, for 2025. I will try and keep it spoiler free, and I don't like to do a massively deep dive because that's not what appeals to me. I like vibes, I like aesthetics, I like really weird little details that I cannot get out of my brain. Quite a lot of the time I am thinking, is this really important or am I overthinking it? Usually I'm overthinking it. Am I overthinking it? Probably going to be that this book's absolute unhinged weirdness made me feel something. If you are into slightly chaotic, not uber critical videos that flip between creepy Gothic content and cozy high fantasy with a sprinkling of romance, we don't discriminate over here, then please think about subscribing to my channel. Give this a like. Hopefully you will continue to join me in my weird journey through 2025. I say this all the time, but I am going to commit to trying to put a video out each Sunday, she says. I'm not sure what I'm going to hit up first. I may revisit Shirley Jackson's The Lottery. So let me know if you've read it. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you've read any of those books, and I'll see you next week.